So Rachel Zegler, I haven't talked about her in a while. Am I right? So there's a reason I haven't really seen anyone talk about her because I think she's kind of realized that you know, it's probably best to stay quiet for a while. I've seen a lot of people say that she's more focused on theater productions and whatever, as long as it keeps her mouth shut. Because, it's a bad look when you're supposed to be promoting a movie, but then you bash the original, or you're coming out to thank people for, oh my god, guys, look at the big peepee numbers of the views on the first trailer, but then ending it off with, as always, free Palestine. Uh, so it's probably not the best thing to do. But Rachel Zegler implies she's not getting any work in Hollywood after Snow White. Maybe because everyone realizes that she's a PR's worst nightmare. Like, Rachel, it's like, hang on. Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, we just saw that interview that you just, yeah. What have we told you? No, no. What? I don't care that you're an outspoken young woman. You are there to promote the movie. No, I don't care. How many times have we told you? Rachel, how many times? Exactly. So the next interview you do, what are you going to do? Are you going to go out there and do your job? Or are we going to have this conversation again? You know, she is PR's worst nightmare because oh, I'm an outspoken young woman. Great, you can be outspoken, but when you're there to promote a movie, you shut the fuck up and promote the movie. You don't bash it. It's like it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? That'd be like Johnny Depp or whoever while promoting that bashing, the Gene Wilder version. You don't do it. I've if it wasn't for the original, you wouldn't be starring in a remake. So maybe don't bash the original. Rachel Zegler was a Hollywood darling, but after a number of box office failures, including the recent release Snow White, it appears she's not getting any more work in Tinseltown. Also, the Hunger Games. I mean, I don't know how the fuck you bomb Hunger Games, as big as of a IP as it is. She managed to do it because she is just truly special. Rachel is just one of a kind individual that comes along every so often, and she took a franchise, a series like Hunger Games, and she managed to, you know. Zegler's Hollywood career began after she was chosen by Steven Spielberg to star as Maria in his West Side Story film. She then landed a role of Thea in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which not really as good as the first one, but starring as Lucy Gray Baird in the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Next, she played Laura in Y2K and voiced Princess Elian in Netflix's Spellbound before starring in Disney's Snow White, which was released this year and it bombed. Aside from starring in these films, she did play Juliet in a stage play of Romeo and Juliet back on Broadway back in February. She's currently starring as Eva Peron in a London West End production of Evita. So maybe just plays, stage productions are just more for her. Maybe she should just stay away from the Hollywood stuff and just stick with Broadway productions. In an interview with ID, Zegler discussed taking the role of Ava Peron and implied that she made the return because she wasn't getting any work in Hollywood. She said, "I came back to theater on my own volition," which is just crazy. Weird, weird. I'm the type of person that can only be bored for like 2 weeks. After Romeo and Juliet closed, I was doing the odd press here and there for Snow White. I was sitting there for a bit, going, what am I supposed to do? Additionally, she stated, I think the reality of being a... Oh, shut the fuck up. What being a woman in this industry, as archaic as it seems, is asking yourself, when will I get the chance again? Because, Hollywood doesn't have any females, women actors or anything. Because it's just, again, I've said before, these are just they're like Pokemon. They're newly discovered. These female creatures have just recently popped up, and they're trying to find their place in the world, in movies and all that. When will I get it the chance again? Oh, I don't know. Ask your agent. Seriously, what I've said before, what time period do these people think they're living in? Because this isn't the old days where women weren't allowed to do anything. She played fucking Snow White in a live action Snow White movie. This woman needs to stop acting like the people are holding her down. She's not. They're not. If no one wants to hire her or whatever, it's because they looked at her in the past and they're like, do we really want to go down that route? Guys, she's young. Do we want to take the chance? We're gonna have her go out and try to promote the movie, and she might not stick to the script. So, what do we do? So, there's that. Um, uh, when will I get the chance again? By the time it comes back again, I may be considered aged out. You should talk to Leonardo DiCaprio. The fact that Zegler admitted that she was sitting around bored and was wondering when she was supposed to do it, was supposed to do heavily implies that she wasn't getting phone calls to star in any upcoming productions from Hollywood. Something that was clearly not happening after she landed the role of Maria in West Side Story. It's unclear why Hollywood might not be calling Zegler anymore. There's a likely number of factors. Zegler is not a box office draw. West Side Story, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and Snow White all bombed miserably at the box office. The Hunger Games film barely broke even. Still alive, but it's barely breathing. Praying to a god that they don't believe in. That's such a good song, man. Cause when a heart break, no, it don't break even. Break even at only grossing $347 million. Globally on an estimated 100 million budget. So that 300, so that would be including like marketing. So it's, yeah, people don't take that into account. That marketing it takes a lot for marketing. Honestly, that much. So the movie was $100 million. So they're saying that like marketing was only 200 million or so, which seems kind of low for a Hunger Games movie. Not only is Zegler box office poison, yeah, she knows she's poison. She's feeding the poison. She's a divisive personality. She's engaged in cancel campaigns against fellow actors such as Gina Carano and Jeremy Renner. Wait, like Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner? She called Renner a racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster, and claimed that he disrespected the deaf community. Wow. I wonder how many more freaking trigger words we could put in there, Rachel. I actually think the new Hawkeye should be a trans woman of color to stick it to the racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster. Zegler piled on Carano back in 2020, writing on Twitter, "Do not make fun of pronouns. They're not a joke. Pronouns are validating. Pronouns are cool." Are they? Put your pronouns in your bio. I wear my pronouns on a button sometimes. It's a good thing. Bye. They're cool, man. Don't be a square, man. Making clear it was referring to Carano, she concluded the thread. It's a fun time to remind you all to love Pedro Pascal. Like, I'm so sick of seeing that guy. In November, yeah, to never know peace for Trump supporters. Zegler also shared support Palestine. Yeah, this crap. I love you all so much. Thank you for the love and for the 120 million views on our trailer in just 24 hours. What a whirlwind. I'm in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet, so I'm gonna get out of here. Bye for now. And as always, remember, free Palestine. Gee, can't imagine why Hollywood doesn't want to work with you, Rachel. Because you make everything political. You could have just come out and just had this bit right there and left that out. But no, because you want to be a outspoken young activist, you had to add that when you're just coming out to thank people for watching the fucking Snow White trailer. Can't imagine why they don't want to work with you, Rachel. Interestingly enough, in her interview with ID, Zegler addressed this post and her position on Palestine, saying, "My compassion has no boundaries. Really what it is, and my support for one cause does not denounce any others. That's always been at the core of who I am as a person. It's the way I was raised." Uh, there are obvious things that are at stake by being outspoken, but nothing is worth innocent lives. My heart doesn't have a fence around it, and if that is considered my downfall, there are worse things. Additionally, Rachel Zegler revealed that she had phone calls with her West Side Story co-stars, Mike Feist, where she suggested her career was over, telling the outlet, "I talked to him on the phone, and wait, I talked to him on the phone, and we'd be like, well, that's it." She still can't help but run her mouth. She needs to read Vox and just shut the fuck up. Maybe in 10 years, people will forget about things and give her another chance. She's a woke idiot. My compassion has no boundaries, except for Trump supporters. Her movies bomb because she's a bad actress and pissed off, well, not just conservative moviegoers, but everyone. Like, it's not like with Snow White. It wasn't just conservatives. She pissed off everyone. She pissed people who were against Palestine, people who were pro-Israel. She pissed off people on the left, people on the right. She pissed off everyone. So it's nothing to do with a conservative thing. She pissed everyone off, especially with Snow White. And that, I said before when I was talking about it, when it was, still happening, it's like, this woman has done the impossible. She has brought like every group of people together. Left, right, center, blacks, whites, Hispanic, like every group of people, they all came together in their hatred of this girl. I mean, she truly accomplished something great. But yeah, let her stick with theater. Um because quite frankly, I don't think anyone really wants to see her in movies. She's not that great of an actress. Um so, you could replace her with someone else, someone more talented, and could she sing? I guess. But actress wise, no. But maybe theater will be her calling, and maybe she'll just shut the fuck up. You know? Sometimes in life, sometimes you finally find what you're good at. And sometimes it takes longer for some of us. Some of us might get to 40, 50 years old and not know what we want. But I think everyone goes through that at some point in their life. This reminds me of a day I was sitting with my good friend Orville. But yeah, I haven't heard much about her, and probably for good reason. She's not getting any roles right now, so she can keep on that stage. Just act your heart out on stage, Rachel. You do you. You know, and maybe in a couple years, people will have forgotten all the bullshit, and they'll, like the person said, might give you another chance. But right now, you are a PR's worst nightmare. You don't know when to shut up. Instead of just thanking people for watching the trailer for Snow White, you had to end things politically by like, as always, free Palestine. You were supposed to promote Snow White, but instead you bashed the 1937 classic. You don't bash the reason why there's a remake in the first place. Again, that'd be like bashing Charlie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or uh, any of the other multiple remakes that get remade. The Mummy. Remember when the Mummy came out? It'd be like Brendan Fraser, like, oh yeah, that movie was kind of dumb. If you really look back on it, it's kind of dated now. Then people fall, or some movie that's from back then is like falling in love with a whatever, and they're like weird, weird. You don't bash the original of the remake, or bash the original that's having a remake, because if it wasn't for the original, there wouldn't be a remake. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.